Hello everybody, what is up? This is Wrecktify. Welcome to the M21 stream of the FFA Masters League Season 25. We're going to be watching a game today on the map Fountain of Manipulation, featuring 4 very excellent players. And let's start by introducing those players we'll be watching today. In the top left, we've got Destruction. We're going to be calling him by the name that he's most known by, which is NoMercy. We're probably just going to call him No or NoMercy throughout the course of the game. He is an undead player from Peru. He finished in first place in his Week 1 matchup. So here in Week 2, he's looking to definitely put himself out ahead with a second win. Shifting to our top right, we have Tyrant66. Tyrant66 is a very excellent undead player from Hungary. He actually has a free-for-all Masters League championship under his belt. He won Season 20. He's a very micro-intensive player and likes to rush orc players out of the game. So we'll see if we have any orcs from our random player. He finished in 3rd place in the first week, so he's not at any risk of losing his place in the league. But I'm sure he wants to put himself in a little bit better position when it comes to the standings. Shifting down to the bottom right, we have our resident random race expert in Alienware Owns. We're going to call him Alien for the course of the game. Alien is a very long-time player, and I had a chance to speak to him before the game, so we'll be able to give you some player insight into how he's approaching this matchup. Alien also won his first match this season, so he's also in a good position to put himself way out in front if he's able to come away with a win this week. And our last player this week is Kent. Kent is from Russia. He's a main race orc player. He came in 4th place in his Week 1 matchup, so he's actually at risk of being relegated from the league should he come in 4th place a second time in a row. So he's definitely going to be feeling pressure this week to come out swinging. Fortunately for him, he did spawn cross-map from Tyrant. Tyrant is known for rushing out orc players, so I don't think he's going to go all the way across the map, though, to get this player out of the game. All right, so let's take a look at what the hero choices are. We see that Kent did pick up a Blade Master, and he's not going for any sort of fast tech situation. It looks like he's going to play it a little bit slower and steady, which I agree with. This is a tough map for creeps. There aren't too many creep camps on here. It's a fairly small map by free-for-all standards, so you really can't afford to fall too far behind in the macro game. Shifting over to our top left, we see that NoMercy is still waiting for his Death Knight to come out, which is fairly common for someone going a Fiend build. So he did do a nice job here of luring over the Murloc creep camp, and he's trying to get a few hits in before his Death Knight is even out and ready to go. Over in the top right, we see that Tyrant also picked up a Death Knight first, also went to Fiend build. He already has his 6th Acolyte ready to go, so I expect a very fast first expansion for him. And lastly, we see that Alien did go for a very fast expansion, so he's going to forego an early tech. That will probably set him a little bit behind, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. One thing to note, though, is that on a map this small, I think it's a little bit more important to get your Mountain King earlier on. I think that Alien's going to be able to get some pretty good hero levels, but it's because of the size of the map, the mobility that you get from an early level 6 Archmage isn't quite as advantageous as it would be on a bigger map. So I'd personally rather have the higher level Mountain King earlier on, but I think he'll be okay either way. Shifting back to the top right, we do see that Tyrant is already getting ready to throw his first expansion up, but because of the order in which he did things, he is already halfway to Tier 2 as well. Taking a look at the top left, we see that NoMercy is not too far behind. He's also clearing out this natural camp of his for one of these gold mines. The natural camps on this map do have 15,000 gold, so enough to keep you going, but not so much that it's going to lead to particularly big hoarding battles on this map. This map is a very uniform map, and as a result, I think a lot of free-for-all players like it. What I mean by uniform is that it's perfectly symmetrical. You've got 4 goblin labs, so unlike other maps such as Silver Pine Forest, where 2 players can end up screwed out of a goblin shredder, everybody has regular access to a goblin shredder. Everybody has access to a marketplace. There are 4 middle gold mines, so they're all pretty well out there, and you can actually end up in some early fights on this map as a result of the middle expansions being somewhat exposed. There you have it. You see that NoMercy has already picked up his Goblin Shredder. I expect that other players will have as well. Yep, we see that Kent rushed to pick up his Goblin Shredder. Of course, Orc is at a severe disadvantage when it comes to harvesting lumber, so no big surprise that Kent was quick to make a move on that. We see a level 2 Blade Master for Kent, and he's just about to hit Tier 3. I'm sorry, Tier 2, so I'm sure he'll be picking up either the Shadow Hunter or the Tauren Chieftain for his second hero. Over here on the bottom right, we do see that Alien is about to hit Tier 2 as well. I would suspect he'll stay pretty vanilla going for a Mountain King second, especially since he's up against an undead in Tyrant. He's going to want the ability to nuke those undead heroes with his Mountain King and Paladin for sure. Taking a look at the middle right here, it looks like Tyrant's going for a very aggressive creeping route. He's actually made his way across one of these little bridges into Alien's area and is taking Alien's Goblin Merchant creep camp. I'm not sure if he realizes that he's stealing creep camps or if this is what he's going for, but either way, this will leave Alien a little bit lower on experience than he would have had otherwise. So we're going to see players slowly start to gravitate towards the middle as they clear out their little islands worth of creep camps. So the middle creep camps are comprised of 4 very small green camps. These are little troll camps around the periphery. In the middle we have a fountain, and I believe it rotates between health and mana fountain. It's just a kind of a random roll when the map is loaded. Inside this camp, as Alien is helping us see, we've got a level 10 red dragon, which I believe can drop the max level items. So it would be Crown of Kings, or Tome of Power, or Mask of Madness. And it's guarded by a couple of rock golems. It's actually a pretty tough creep camp for certain races, and not so tough for others. So, for example, the undead and night elves have the ability to lure the red dragon away from the fountain and take down the biggest creep on the map with just a couple of hippogriffs or gargoyles. Other races have a little bit more difficulty. For example, human and orc struggle a little bit more with the middle camp and often are not able to get it. Here we see Alien is clearing out one of the middle expansions. Looks like he's going to go for gold mine number 3. And we can see that that's guarded by a pretty standard mix of trolls. We've got the one ogre magi that can throw up bloodlust and make your life a little bit more difficult. And then, of course, the level 7 overlord, which drops that level 1 shockwave on your units. Alien picks up a Ruined Bracers, which is going to be incredibly helpful against 2 undead players. Not sure if he's going to leave that on his Mountain King or maybe shift it over to his Paladin to give his main healer that extra survivability. Taking a look at the top middle camp, we've got NoMercy is clearing out this gold mine. What did he pick up? He picked up the Lion Horn of Stormwind, so that's going to give about 6% extra HP to all of his units. Level 1 Devotion Aura. And what do we have over here? Another Lion Horn of Stormwind for Tyrant. So pretty standard fare in terms of items. One interesting thing, it's kind of cool. It looks like great minds do think alike. All 4 players are creeping the middle at the exact same time, and without even having to talk about it, they all ended up creeping in the right direction, so nobody's going to end up fighting each other for their second gold mine. Kent definitely did win the luck of the draw here, though. We see that he picked up Boots of Quel'Thalas, plus 6. So that's going to be 6 extra agility on Tojara, the Blade Master. So that's going to be 2 points of armor, 6 points of damage, and about a 5% increase in your overall attack speed. The Blade Master already attacks pretty fast, but we can see that got bumped up from fast to very fast by adding in that extra agility there. Here on the right-hand side, it looks like Tyrant is ceding the middle at this point to other players. He's going to pick up a Tome of Agility there, which is very helpful for him. That's going to allow him to get his Lich that much closer to level 3. Level 3 means that he's going to have that level 2 Frost Nova, and Frost Nova, being an uncapped AoE effect, is very helpful versus pretty much everything that you could be expecting to fight as Undead. Here in the top left, we see that it looks like NoMercy is on a very similar path as Tyrant, so I guess Undeads also think alike. He's also at roughly the same hero levels as Tyrant, but I'm not sure if he got any Tomes of Agility, so he's just doing an excellent job clearing out the map and kind of hogging all of the experience for himself. Here in the bottom middle, we do see the first of the marketplaces getting cleared out. The marketplaces are guarded by a level 8 purple golem, and the purple golems are actually tough pretty much for all of the races to clear. Most races are reliant on magic damage, and of course these golems are magic immune. What makes the purple golems that much more difficult, though, is that they will use a level 1 Thunderclap ability whenever you have 3 or more melee units within range. So here we can see the Granite Golem, we'll call him the Super Granite Golem, battling with Tyrant's forces. Tyrant able to pick up level 3 with the Lich. Looks like he's going to be able to get level 2 with his Dreadlord as well. Picks up the Medallion of Courage, which is going to give his Dreadlord extra survivability from the strength and the extra ability to spam spells, because it will add about 60 mana to his mana pool. Taking a look at the middle, it looks like we might have a race for Alien. I'm not sure actually where he's going at. First I thought he was going to go for the middle creep camp, but it looks like he's steering clear at this time. Over on the left-hand side, we see Kent is busy getting ready to clear out his shop. Kent is going to actually benefit likely the most from the shop on this map. The Orc heroes are so integral to the success or failure of an Orc player in free-for-all. Having the ability to buff them up with a shop is very important for that player to be able to win the game. Looks like we're going to have an early engagement here. Tyrant is being hit by Alienware at his natural. Meanwhile, Tyrant is attacking Alienware's natural. Neither player has an army to speak of. We see 56 out of 90 pop for Alien. He's picking up 2 tanks. Meanwhile, over in Tyrant's side of the world, we see that he's already up to 73 food, so it looks like we might have a classic rush by Tyrant being executed on Alien at this point. Oh my goodness, and we see that Frostworms are being snuck in to Alien's base. Focus fire coming down on all of the lumber harvesters of Alien, and this is going to be very disastrous for him, as he is currently only at 130 lumber. So we see a concerted effort here by Tyrant to take out all of the harvesting units of Alien. Meanwhile, Alien is all the way in the back of Tyrant's base, taking out all of his acolytes. Tyrant, sitting at 184 food, isn't going to have much ability to fight this off, but rebuild. But Alien is going to, of course, get out of there as fast as possible. Does lose a Paladin, though. Not sure how. The Paladin was level 2, so he should have been able to pop a Divine Shield. It's possible that maybe he popped the Divine Shield earlier, though. Taking a look at the middle, it looks like for some reason we also have Kent attacking Alien as well. So we've got a very tough 2-on-1 situation, I think completely unintentional for what it's worth, against Alien. Meanwhile, we see Alien sending off a couple of his tanks, likely to go after the natural expansion of Tyrant to draw the attention away from his main base. Alien in the meanwhile does not have any peasants at his main base to speak of, and taking a look around, he's only got a couple at each of his expansions, so he's actually in a very tough situation. He's not going to have the ability to rebuild, even though he's got all these gold mines under control. As we can see, he's down to only 230 gold and 50 lumber, so he's going to be in a really tough situation at this point. He's up against a far superior army in the mix of Frostworms and Fiends. Tyrant, as we can see, has very good hero levels, level 5 Death Knight, level 4 Lich, and almost level 3 Dreadlord, versus the 4-3-2 of Alien, and unfortunately Alien did lose his Paladin very early on as well, so it's a doubly tough situation for Alien. He's both broke and missing one of his heroes. Meanwhile, we can see the Tyrant. If there's one thing Alien's doing well, he's definitely taken out Tyrant's economy for the most part. He's down to 168 gold, 69 out of 80 food, and he doesn't have an active expansion at this point. He never claimed a second gold mine in the middle, and he's now lost his natural expansion. Meanwhile, in the middle, we can see that there's the creeps are still up in the middle. So we see that NoMercy is making a move against Kent. He's currently at 80 food. Kent, meanwhile, is sitting at 62. So Kent caught a little bit off guard here and does not appear to be pumping out of all of his active bestiaries. So this could be a tough situation for him. He is using primarily Bat Riders against the mixed air army of NoMercy, though. We do see Kent drop a stomp there on all of his own units, so I think that was a little bit of a misclick there. Meanwhile, Kent has lost his natural expansion as well, so he's definitely in a very tough situation at this point. Ultimately, I think this game is going to come down to which one of these players taps out first, Alienware or Kent, and then they're going to need to rely on the help of NoMercy, because it does not look like Kent or Alienware is in position to be able to compete in this game at this point. We see that Tyrant is slowly gaining gold, but that he's also taken out the peasants at all of Alien's expansions once again. Alien's still very low on resources, 500 gold, 200 lumber, missing his Paladin still, so he's in definitely a very tough situation. Down at the bottom left, we see that Kent is almost completely wiped out of this game at this point. He's got only his practically naked level 2 Torn Chieftain to help him, and it looks like this may be GG for him if nobody is willing to help him. Nice job, very nice job by NoMercy here. We see that NoMercy sent over his lumber harvesting ghouls to harass the expansion of Kent. That allows him to focus on Kent's main while crippling his economy. Kent down to 1,400 gold, which might seem like a lot, but considering that he hasn't really built an army at this point, it's really not that much at all. And it looks like we're going to see a little bit of jockeying for position by Alienware against Tyrant at this point. Tyrant is being forced back a little bit. Very tough army for him to fight. Even though he's got the superior hero levels, none of his air units are able to hit the Spirit Breakers of Alien. Alien able to trap a Crypt Fiend behind the wall of Spirit Breakers here, but that Crypt Fiend is able to burrow just in time to avoid an untimely fate. Meanwhile, here in the bottom left, we're going to check back in. It looks like NoMercy has done a fantastic job of taking out Kent. He's managed to gain superior hero levels, 554, and he's managed to do it while gaining a lot of gold. So we can see that NoMercy has an active gold mine in the middle as well as his natural. So unlike this battle between Alienware and Tyrant, which has been kind of a lose-lose situation for both of them, NoMercy's done a good job of both getting hero levels, taking out Kent, and gaining a lot of gold. We do see that it looks like Tyrant has finally picked up a middle gold mine. He's sitting at 900 gold, but he's going to be climbing rapidly at this point. It doesn't look like Alien is doing too good of a job of being able to take out these units of NoMercy. So if he's not losing anything and he's mining through gold mines, he'll be pretty much okay in terms of gold levels. One important and kind of sad note is that if Kent does manage to get taken out at this point, he will be eliminated from this season of Free-for-All Masters League, as he will have 2 fourth-place finishes under his belt in the first 2 weeks, and as a result, they will be doing a cut after the end of this week to remove all players with 20 or fewer points. Okay, so taking a look around the map, we see once again we've got Alien going towards the gold mine of Tyrant, and Tyrant going towards the gold mine of Alien. This has become definitely just a battle of Alien trying to play keep away from his base, He hasn't managed to be too successful at it, though. He's not gaining hero levels, and he's not really preventing Tyrant from holding Dominion over the map. He didn't even manage to take out Tyrant's expansion this time around, and it looks like he's almost certainly going to be forced to TP. Focus Fire comes down on the Archmage, but the Archmage is able to TP out just in the nick of time. Alien does lose a couple of gyrocopters there, though, so that still costs him quite a bit of gold. Looks like Kent is going to hang around, and I'm not sure if he's trying to buy time for Tyrant and is one-on-one with Alien, or if he is just not willing to accept his defeat at this point. But we do see that at this point the only active gold mine that Kent has is this middle expansion, which is not going to be nearly protected enough to survive. So at this point we've got NoMercy just trying to eliminate the rest of Kent. And I'm sure if I'm sitting in NoMercy's shoes, he's very happy that Kent is hanging around. Most players will not focus on you, no matter how high of an advantage you get, until your opponent actually leaves the game. So it looks like if things continue this way, Alien may end up completely crippled as a result of this endless battle with Tyrant before Kent is even eliminated from the game. And we do see that Kent is kind of flying around with a couple of Bat Riders at this point, just doing a little bit of harassing of the different players. I don't see any additional buildings from him on the map, but he must have at least one hidden, because I do see he's got 20 population. I'm going to change your... let's see. There we go. Trying to find his color on the map. I can't quite find it, though. So we know that he's got at least one hidden burrow because he's at 20 population. Meanwhile, here on the at the expansion of Alienware, we do see continued air versus ground battles. This is going a lot better for Alien, although he does lose his Archmage to the focus fire of all of the undead heroes. At this point, it's looking very grim for Alien. The Paladin does not have Divine Shield left at this point. Down went the Archmage. We've got all of the different air units for Tyrant have been taken out of the fight at this point, but it does not look like he's going to be able to continue to fight for much longer. Focus Fire now coming down on the Mountain King. Mountain King does manage to get a Stormbolt off and force the TP by Tyrant. So nice fight by Alien. He does manage to force the TP, but he's way behind on hero levels now. Level 4 Archmage, level 4 Mountain King, level 3 Paladin, and no items to speak of either. He's got the Rune Bracers, and that's pretty much it. Taking a look at the top right, we've got the level 6 Death Knight for Tyrant to complement a level 4 Dreadlord and a level 5 Lich. No items are too exciting here either. But in terms of the ability to even buy items and get back into this game, it's looking a lot better for Tyrant. Although Tyrant is about to lose his expansion to the tank harass of Alien. Alien has upgraded these to 2-1 attack and defense, so they will have enough firepower, I think, to kill this gold mine through the. And it looks like Alien might be backing off. Okay, that was I think for a second he thought about backing off, but then realized he was not going to get away because of the frost worms. All right, so we see that Kent is being caught here. These might be the last two buildings of his. He's continuing to harass with the troll Bat Riders he managed to save from his base. But I think this is going to be it for him. I don't think he's got any other buildings on the map. Of course, his color is a little bit difficult to see on this map. And it looks like Kent did pick up another building somewhere. So kind of funny, we've got about 20 minutes into this game, it looks like we're finally going to have the middle creep camp cleared out. I don't think that Tyrant's going to pull his heroes back, though, and so that's going to prevent the Dreadlord quite from getting to level 5. What item did he pick up, though? Looks like maybe the Amulet of Spell Shield. That's going to be pretty nice for the Death Knight. He's been taking a beating in all of these fights with Alien, and I'm pretty sure the only way that Alien can stay in these fights is if he's constantly trying to nuke the Death Knight to get him out of the fight. And at this point, with the Amulet of Spell Shield, that's going to be a lot more difficult. And meanwhile, on the top of the map, so NoMercy, this is 2 weeks in a row he's managed to get an overwhelming gold advantage on his opponents. 2K gold for, sorry, 1.5K gold for Tyrant and 294 gold for Alienware, compared to the 9,000 gold for NoMercy. He's, of course, got a couple of active gold mines. The only thing holding him back at this point is that Kent is continuing to harass him. Meanwhile, we do see that Alien is continuing to harass Tyrant's gold mines, making it difficult for Tyrant to quite seal the deal at this point. And it looks like Tyrant may be forced to TP once again to try to protect his main base from the harass of Alienware. Meanwhile, I don't see Alien's Mountain King anywhere, so it looks like it may have been taken out and he is not even rebuilding it at this point. On the flip side, we see that NoMercy, Alien has been letting NoMercy know that he's in a lot of trouble for quite some time now, and it doesn't look like NoMercy is inclined to help Alien at all. He might actually just be waiting for Alien to get eliminated. Here at the bottom left, we see that Kent did manage to pick up yet another expansion, but I think it might have already been caught by NoMercy. We do see him rapidly going to the bottom left, and yes, it has been caught. Alien begging and pleading for help at this point. Not sure if he's actually going to get what he needs, though. Tyrant is continuing to just go at him with reckless abandon. Finally, the Mountain King is being rebuilt. Looks like Alien is going to lose his Archmage. Yep, goes down very quickly to the Mass Frostworms and Gargoyles. So this is going to be a very tough, if not impossible, fight for Alien to even force a TP from. At this point, Death Knight very high level. He's got the Lesser Invulnerability Potion, so even if you did manage to get some Focus Fire on him, he's not going to go down easily. Down here in the bottom left, it looks like maybe this is finally last call for Kent. Kent is begging to not be killed, but he is killed, and that will do it. Kent is eliminated from the game, and likely in 4th place, so he will almost certainly be, unfortunately, eliminated from the FFA Masters League for the season. Meanwhile, having had cast NoMercy's match last week, I can definitely comment on what his playstyle is. He's very reactionary, and I know that he's almost certainly got no clue what to do in this situation right now. Interestingly, he's a player that almost doesn't know what to do when he's succeeding. So he's definitely got himself in a dominating position right now with a 10-1 gold advantage over Tyrant. However, Tyrant is a far superior fighting player, so if NoMercy does not press his advantage almost immediately, he's going to be in a position where he's not going to be able to win. So it looks like we're going to have some expansion trading here. NoMercy going after the middle right expansion of Tyrant, and Tyrant going after the top middle expansion of NoMercy. NoMercy is not going to be able to take out this expansion in time, and it's going to be engaging in a fight at a very big food disadvantage. He is going to be able to TP away, though, and minimize his losses, but it does not look like he's... Okay, so he has pumped to 93 food, so he will not be at a food advantage at the next engagement. Interestingly, this does not look like 93 food worth of gargoyles, so I'm not sure what's going on there. He's got the one Frostworm and the one Destroyer soaking up a little bit of the food count. Okay, so it looks like we might have some errant gargoyles here and there. So let's take a look at the items, because I think it's going to really be the items that decide the outcome of this fight. So we see Scroll of Healing on the Lich. We see the Django of Endurance, so it's going to add some additional DPS on the Dreadlord. Dreadlord does not have Vampiric Aura, though, but he does pick up a Scroll of Protection. And then we have a Scroll of the Beast and a Scroll of Healing on the Death Knight. Fairly even hero levels between the two of them, so I would expect that we're going to see either a lot of focus fire on heroes and sleeping of Death Knights, or we're going to see a little bit more of a kiting battle between the two with, as you can see, a lot of AoE coming down and just tearing through the very low HP gargoyles. Meanwhile, in the bottom right, it looks like Alienware is, yep, he's still continuing to just eliminate himself from the game. Interestingly, I think that he didn't have much of a chance in the game, but now that NoMercy and Tyrant are fighting each other, he could have potentially slithered his way back into this game. Instead, Tyrant is going to get away with this kind of free expansion here in the bottom right, which will be fairly difficult for NoMercy to contest. Meanwhile, taking a look at the gold counts, we've got 355 gold for Tyrant, 7,000 gold for NoMercy. So if you're keeping track of it, it's about a 25x gold advantage for NoMercy. So NoMercy at this point, he just basically needs to continue fighting and whittling down the army and expansions of Tyrant, and he should be able to win this by gold count alone. The more that he drags his feet, though, the bigger the advantage gets for Tyrant, who is almost certainly the superior fighter. So we see the Shredder of Tyrant was sent to the bottom left expansion of NoMercy, and meanwhile the army of Tyrant is sent to the natural expansion of NoMercy. So NoMercy is rapidly losing his gold income. He's still got the solid gold advantage, but it's not looking too good for him at this point. He finally has what I would call a true 100 army, and it should be a pretty big advantage for him going into a fight with Tyrant. We see that Tyrant has 38 food tied up in 6 units alone, just a bunch of frostworms, which should, in theory, should not be too helpful against the gargoyle army of NoMercy. But NoMercy has shown that he's really struggling with these air versus air armies. So here we go, fight comes down. We've got scrolls being popped by both players, AoE effects coming down on the frostworms of Tyrant. Tyrant's frostworms being focused down. Down goes one frostworm, down goes another frostworm. We've got the second scroll popped by NoMercy. NoMercy is only losing 12 food. We've got about 32 food lost by Tyrant at this point. Tyrant is forced to TP with his far inferior army. 39 food lost, truth be told, by Tyrant. Now it's not looking very good for him. He's at 65 food, 800 gold, and it looked like for a second he might have had a chance there, but he's now forced to abandon his middle expansion. His natural expansion is still going actually pretty well, 5,600 gold, and the reason there's so much gold left in there is because of all of the harassing that Alien had done throughout the course of the game. Looks like he's about to lose his second expansion, the one that he had put up in Alienware's Natural. And MVP of the game, I'll give it to NoMercy's Shade here. NoMercy has definitely had an interesting play style over the past 2 weeks, but I will give him credit where it is due. He's done an excellent job of scouting, something that I think all free-for-all players, including myself, could improve at. And he's done a fantastic job of keeping his map awareness at a very high level, and that's primarily by using lots of shades throughout the course of the game. So we see 5,800 gold, 98 food for NoMercy. I believe he's going to pick up some additional scrolls at this point. He primarily won that last fight on the back of a superior army composition, but one of the most important factors in terms of undead versus undead isn't just army composition, but also just having making sure that you have the proper number of scrolls. Looks like Tyrant is definitely food blocked at this point. Gold blocked at this point. 66 food for him. Very nice TP there by NoMercy, but doesn't quite manage to get any advantage out of it. Very late AoE effects coming down on the gargoyles of NoMercy. We have the Inferno coming down in the middle of the fight, but it looks like he's not going to be taken to the middle with them. Focus Fire coming down on all of the gargoyles here in the middle. Focus Fire coming down on the Lich of NoMercy. NoMercy just manages to save it barely. All of Tyrant's army is now dead at this point. 35 food, 500 gold. He calls it now. GG. Very nice job by our winner, NoMercy, who comes away with an excellent win in a very short game. All right, so let's take a look at the score screen and see how it all played out. Very quick game, as we would expect from the map fountain of manipulation, 34 minutes. Taking a look at the scores, it's going to be first place and the bonus points for NoMercy at 187,000 points. He kind of dominated on all levels. A little bit lower on the hero scores. He didn't quite get as much out of his one-on-one with Kent as Tyrant did with Alien, but he more than made up for it in his resource score. He did an excellent job of defending his expansions and capitalizing on the gains that he got as he was slowly taking Kent out of the fight. Taking a look at the breakdown, 176 units killed for Tyrant, 131 for NoMercy, but far more buildings killed by NoMercy. That's largely due to the fact that he had to chase down and fully eliminate Kent, who hung on until the bitter end. Taking a look at the hero levels, we see 766 for Tyrant, 665 for NoMercy. One of the interesting things, I definitely expected items to play a little bit more of a factor in the game, but the only items that were really purchased by anybody were Town Portal Scrolls and Healing Scrolls, so interesting the way that shook out. And lastly, under the resource score, yep, you can see it here. Big advantage for NoMercy. And this was both a combination of the fact that he got the third and fourth gold mines up and going, but he was also not losing his gold mines to his one-on-one opponent. So Alien and Tyrant, the way that they were battling was basically to the bitter end, and because they were much more evenly matched in their fight, Tyrant came away with the win in the end, but he didn't have much to show for it. Of course, he had better hero levels, but almost no gold at the end of their one-on-one, and a very poorly tuned army for his next opponent, which was, of course, all Gargs in NoMercy.